Two unemployed actors, two unemployed actors. They're just between projects.
Welcome back to Two Unemployed Actors. I'm Max.
I'm Sam.
We have a great show today. We've got some movie reviews for you and bits and pieces. Sammy, what have you been up to? What have you got to talk about? Putting on the spot?
Mostly just I did a lot of crew work with that show called Making It.
Okay.
That I briefly spoke about a couple podcasts ago.
Briefly?
Yeah, did a couple days with them and it was so much fun.
They asked you back?
Yeah, multiple times.
That's a good sign of
exactly.
success.
And I hope I get future work with them as well. That and kind of talking to Grant about just doing more self-tapes. We haven't been to him for months now.
Yes.
Just because of busyness.
What sort of self-tapes you got? Like, is there anything in particular, like any genre or any sort of type of character?
Trying to cover everything just so we can then show that off.
Yeah,
so I'm
good.
Still doing my show reel and trying to move more into doing American accent self-tapes. So I'm actually seeing Danielle Roth, who is an accent coach that I worked with almost 3 years ago now. I haven't seen her in 3 years.
Because you're so old.
Yeah, exactly. I'm so old. And just like a check-in tomorrow because I think I've improved. I hope I've improved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a check-in?
Yeah, just a check-in.
Okay. Are you going to work through a script with her or just general
Don't know yet.
voiciness?
Like, literally just got a time ready for tomorrow. General voiciness, a check-in kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so that's been good.
Okay.
Cooked. Got into the news, NBN News.
Oh, well done. Regional news. It still counts.
Yep, it still 100% counts.
and this is the film you just finished.
This is the film I just finished. Yep. And the director was on ABC Newcastle Radio.
Okay.
It's been so now, like we've finished it, and he's got to edit it, but now it's all up to promoting and marketing, all that stuff.
The fun part.
Yeah, very exciting.
Okay.
And I just applied for another feature film with New House Cinema.
Okay, what have they done? Anything we'd know?
Oh, I don't know. I
Indie
I haven't
stuff?
heard of anything. Yeah, a lot of indie stuff.
Right.
But that looks good. So hopefully I can audition. The audition is in Brisbane.
That's great.
Well, no self-tapes.
With the actual like doing your US reel, like updating that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great that you're going to a voice coach and not just yourself and YouTube and the camera.
Yeah.
But also, have you thought about like student films and stuff? Like if there's any
American accent ones?
Yeah, probably there's not actually. I just realised as I was saying that there's not really.
So every single student film I've auditioned for, I always ask before I send through a self-tape, what accent would you like me to do it in?
Yeah.
It's most of the time.
It's Australian, isn't
actually, no, every time I've auditioned, it's Australian.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah. Unless you apply for one overseas.
Because that's what we've used before to buff out our, beef up our show reels.
100%.
Because it's great content.
Yeah, 100%. But also, like just
rather
kind
than
of
blue screen stuff, which is still okay.
Yeah, like working at home on your accents is good, obviously. Yeah. But you should go to an accent or dialect coach first because you can't really hear yourself,
That's
and you
right.
don't. I mean, until you don't know how shit you can be.
Well, that's it. I mean, you don't want to sort of get to stage where they've got to undo bad habits.
Yeah, and exactly. And an accent isn't just about mimicking. That it's a whole art form, obviously, and it's like there's so many technical aspects about where it sits.
Yep.
Inflections. It's just. Yep. I've spoken about this in past podcasts, just how amazing I found it all and so interesting. So I'm glad I'm going back. I'm glad I set one up. Just because it's heading into that realm of, I think I need to start moving into doing more American
I think I've been telling everyone, absolutely, you get your US show reel up. I mean, there's a lot of work in Australia at the moment.
Yep.
Just announced yesterday the new Mad Max movie.
Yes.
The prequel to
starring
Furiosa.
Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, will be filmed in New South Wales, and that's $350 million, which is a decent budget.
The biggest film for New South that's been filmed in New South Wales.
Stop.
Australia?
Yeah, that's huge. So, but there's lots of work going around, is my point. And if you've
a lot of
got
American stuff,
and if you've got a US show reel, it obviously helps you to
100%.
tap in, because I'd hate to miss out on all these millions that are floating around.
Yeah, and what I've been told is that exactly.
I'll take a 50-word little guesty.
And what I've been told is obviously on set, you'll have a dialect coach, but they expect you to know American.
Absolutely. When they look at a self-tape,
American.
when they see an audition, they want you to just pick up and go. There's none of this, oh, well, great for the role. I can see that person playing the role, but Max needs to work on his accent. We'll get him some coaching or something.
Yeah.
It's like, no, they just want to see Max and insert Max with US flawless accent.
And you know what's really interesting? This, obviously, we know this industry is quite subjective, but years ago, before I went to a dialect coach, I had an audition with a casting.
Back in the olden days.
Yeah, with a casting director.
Before the pandemic.
Way before the pandemic. Yeah, I had an audition with a casting director. Not going to say which one it was because, well, they said my accent was great.
Okay.
And then I go to a dialect coach, and it's like, it's okay.
Maybe they're just being nice.
Well, but also casting.
Maybe they had headphones in.
Maybe, but also casting directors at the same time haven't studied accents as much as dialect coaches. Obviously, they can tell if you're shit or good, but not, I think, above that good. You know, great. You got to, there's going to be something there where they're like, wow, that sounds convincing, but they don't know why. And you don't know why until you go to a dialect coach.
The perfectionist of a dialect coach whose absolute job is to help you bring that accent to life. I mean, those ears are precious.
Flick into it and be able to do it, relax, and, it's good.
Well,
it's interesting.
I've got...
what have you done?
I've got some news. I actually finished updating my website today. When I say finished, I mean like 95% there. There's a few tweaks because on mobile, one page looks a bit funny and I'm updating it. Blah, blah.
Yeah.
But like it didn't take as long as I thought. I don't know why I put off so long. But anyway, because the hard thing was... Well, I'm good at that. I mean, if got to be good at something, and so procrastination is me. But the structure was going to be hard too, because like voiceovers, podcasting, and acting. So what I did was I made the maxbelmonte.com, so the landing page, an image of me with my social handles, and then just 3 buttons: actor, voiceover artist, podcaster.
Perfect.
Yeah. So, because I thought that, sometimes the solution can be so simple right in front of you.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
But it took me a while to come to that conclusion. And then, so podcast just takes you through to the Two Unemployed Actors page. Voiceover, I've got like a few pages just for that. That opens up those menus when you're in there.
Yep.
Same with acting.
Cool.
So it was a lot of fun. And then doing all the coding stuff and making sure the images are small enough to open fast and it looks good on different size devices, all that sort of boring stuff. But it really didn't take that long because I was still using Adobe Dreamweaver.
Only 3 days straight.
Finally getting the hang of it. Yeah.
9 to 5.
Hardly. But anyway, at least it doesn't look like at the 1990s website. So it's a little bit more.
Oh, good.
A little bit more current.
1990s website. And one of the first.
Refreshed. Anyway, I've got news because straight out of the last play, and I thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to wait a while before I get involved in another play because it's such a commitment, right? It's months, and then it opens, and but then a few weeks down the track, here I am auditioning for a play. So nice. It's an Australian
another one
play. Yep, it's written for Australia. It was written years ago, and I don't know if the New Theatre's performed it before.
Is it with the New Theatre?
It is with the New Theatre, which, for those that don't know Sydney, is literally like a block from where I live, which will be handy.
Don't tell everyone where you
live. But there's three characters that I could easily see myself playing.
Beautiful. What's it called? What's the play called?
Spooks.
Spooks.
So it's set in like 60s Australia, where in a country town there's a Communist Party branch.
Yeah.
And this ASIO dude converts this 19-year-old to be his mole. So he turns up all enthusiastic, ready to be James Bond. And it's this country party with half a dozen members. They talk about doing stuff. They never really do stuff. So he kind of tries to help make things move forward and build momentum. So it's pretty funny. True to form, one of the... I think she was a founding member. I can't remember now. But anyway, passed away from the New Theatre life member anyway early this year. She had an ASIO file on her.
Oh, yeah.
And they even published one of the photos that they took of her on her way to the theatre or something. An old black and white shot from the 70s because she was a Communist Party member. And I think everyone who is a member of the Communist Party gets an ASIO file.
Yeah, nice.
I don't think there's any special treatment. But anyway, so they did mention.
This on Star Now?
No, I'm a member of the New Theatre. So,
it came up on
I think it was through their social actually, Instagram or Facebook or something. We've got this new play. Auditions are up. Let us know. So, I've got to self-tape it and do a little intro and get that away by the end of the week, which is my job.
Well done.
So I'm on it. And
which is my job.
And you know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to dial up that I did a bit from The Odd Couple, which is a play I did back in the day. And it worked for Lipstick, got me that role. I think I'm going to give it a shot because...
Did you not audition for Lipstick with a Lipstick script? You just sent through...
Nope.
They just wanted to see anything?
Yep. Same with the New Theatre. So the process is, here's an online version of the script. Please read it because you want to read the script before you, right?
Oh yeah.
And then 30-second intro you need to film with a roughly 2-minute piece from film or television or theatre that you'd like to use to apply. For me, look, it's Fred. Stop assaulting Sam. It's theatre. It's a comedy. So I'm going to do something from theatre that is a comedy.
Cool.
So that's me being Felix from The Odd Couple. So it's a nice little bit.
Nice.
I might even put it up on the 2UA socials, so you can have a look at what I submitted.
Yeah, do it.
But I'll get that to them, and who knows, maybe I'll hear something, maybe not. But at least there's 3 characters I can sort of slip into. So that'll be fun. And be great too, because it's like the end of the street. Like, come on, I've got no excuse for being late and not being committed.
Can you walk there?
I can. It literally is half a block away.
That's brilliant.
You go to the end of the street, turn left, and there's the New Theatre. Yeah,
I think I've been before.
I went to my last production I went to see there was The Grapes of Wrath. Heavy, full-on production. But, that's the script, the story. But it was fantastic. Good. Like, I remember saying, I went with my cousin who works at Create New South Wales, and they do all the budgets for all the arts companies.
Yep.
And saying it's up there with Sydney Theatre Company, like it was fantastic. I mean, I looked at a minimal stage and about 20 actors on stage, and it's Grapes of Wrath. I'm like, oh God, this is going to be a journey, but it was just so slick. It was great. Good. I talked to the director afterwards. I was just like drooling, going, oh my God, it was so good. It was amazing. It really was. But anyway, so fantastic. So it'd be great to be a part of that. New Theatre being a voluntary organisation, it's all voluntary. But again, it's up another level, in terms of professionalism.
New theatres,
and the director there has done so much work in industry, so I'm really looking forward to it. Hopefully.
Yeah, good stuff.
Fingers crossed and all that.
Fingers crossed.
But I've been busy going back to the cinema. Hopefully, wherever you're listening to this podcast, you're able to go to the cinema. I know we've been lucky in Australia.
Very lucky.
And chime in if you've seen any of these. First one I saw...
You telling me?
First one, yes. Anyone. Well, anyone's welcome to chime in on social. Fred, if you want to... I saw 6 Minutes to Midnight on Sunday.
Okay.
It's got Judi Dench and Eddie Izzard. It's a film about... it's a spy thriller... Cold War thing. Cool. Well, not really Cold War. It's
comedy.
World War no. World War II. Just before the war breaks out, actually, and it's just from an interesting perspective where there's an Anglo-German school on the coast of England, and the German social elite send their daughters there for it's like a finishing school, so they get to experience British culture, accent, and etc. So obviously the parents are well connected of these 25 odd girls who are at the finishing school for that year. What's interesting is it'll be a great sign or another sign that war is about to start if they can work out, they being the British government, when the children are being sent back to Germany all of a sudden.
Yep.
Because that will tell them when the war's going to start.
Yeah, okay.
And they know it will be sudden because the hierarchy, who are obviously Nazi Party well connected, wouldn't want their daughters to be held captive in England. It'll certainly impact their ability to move forward in the Nazi Party. And so it talks about this, it revolves around this character who's inserted into the school to try and work things out.
Okay.
So it's not so much James Bond, but more, truer to life, so to speak.
But good.
Really interesting, really great. Eddie Izzard was great. I think, and based on a true story. So at the end, you actually do see pictures of the girls at the school at the time. Yeah. which was closed for the war, obviously, and never reopened. But hey, that's it. Oh, another movie. Okay, similar vein, The Courier, a spy thriller.
Another spy thriller.
That is based on a true story. Bear with me if you like spy thrillers. But this is all about an ordinary guy in extraordinary circumstances. They just choose him because
who's in it?
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah, he's great,
isn't he? And really good in these dramatic roles. I like. He's really good at this average guy. It's like, I'm a salesman. What do you want me to, take secrets from A to B for? But it's precisely because he's so average and ordinary and normal and has access in and out of the country that he's perfect.
Yeah,
he doesn't see it though.
Yeah,
and then he gets in so deep that he ends up doing more risky stuff, and I don't want to spoil it for people, but really interesting. And yeah, Benedict's great. He went up in my books for that movie.
He's great, yeah.
Nobody. So we're talking. Okay, it's not a true story. It's lots of action,
and it's
less thriller. But it's the same theme, like ordinary guy in extraordinary situation. It follows Bob Odenkirk's character, who really is, and I love the opening scenes, the montage of the Monday to Friday.
You saw all these in the cinema?
Yeah. From start of March.
Yeah, start of March.
So it's been a few weeks. But yeah, I love the opening montage of his, just to paint the picture very quickly of average guy, Monday to Friday, I really like those opening scenes. It really does set the scene. And then for when things do happen, it's just amazing. A great supporting role, Christopher Lloyd, who people remember from Back to the Future as the mad scientist. Fantastic character. I love his character in that.
How old is he now?
I know.
150? Jesus.
So no coincidence he plays the father in a retirement home who comes back for some action, and literally does he ever. One of the greatest lines is when he opens up and he's got all these guns everywhere, and Bob says to his father, Christopher Lloyd's character, why did you bring so many guns? He said, well, you invited so many Russians. So it's just crazy. It's just absolutely crazy. But it was funnier than I thought, because it doesn't take itself so seriously.
Right. And, those are always nice.
And it is an action movie, but it's from the producers of John Wick. Mm-hmm. In fact, the producer, one of the producers anyway, David Leitch, he actually has a stunt background, and so great for action, right? And his first directorial debut was John Wick.
There we go.
So... and remember the last time we talked about a stunty turned director was Extraction, Chris Hargrave, and that was a huge movie. So cool. It's great, it's fantastic. So you can imagine the action sequences are amazing. Yeah, great fight scenes, but I really enjoyed it because I knew it's not going to be the spy thrillers that I'd seen, but park a few brain cells, sit back and enjoy. Yeah. But it was really interesting, really fun. And Bob Odenkirk was fantastic.
Oh, good.
I remember him from Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul. Great character. The last one I saw, Crisis. Gary Oldman, Armie Hammer, Greg Kinnear. Remember Greg Kinnear? Lily Rose Depp.
Okay.
Depp's daughter.
Yep.
Depp's daughter. Fantastic. Opioid epidemic. So it's full on. It's not, a fun one, but it's a good thriller, and more like corporate espionage type thing where he's a professor. Gary Oldman plays this professor at university, and he's pressured into saying certain things about a drug that he doesn't believe in. Okay. And the ramifications are like billions of dollars, and there's a lot at stake and lots of stuff happening. So I really enjoyed that. Really interesting. Actually, I have to talk about Nomadland before I forget.
Yes, I've got to see that as well.
You have to see it. And if you can, at the cinema, it's still on the cinema. The cinematography is great, and it really does help draw you in. It's almost like a documentary. You feel like a voyeur. Yep. But it's because of that it really gets you in there. So when things happen to the characters, it's like you're there and you want to just give them a hug because it's so relatable and full on. It's gritty. It's real. It's not escapism. It's not a spy thriller.
Cool.
And it's not an action movie. So it's like the opposite of everything I've seen. But the awards, I mentioned the cinematography. It won a BAFTA for Best Cinematography.
Nice.
Golden Globe Best Picture, BAFTA Best Film, and the director, BAFTA, even actor, gave them a Best Director award.
Wow,
The Australian
nice.
Association of Cinema, Television, and the Arts.
Cool.
Chloe Zhao is the director.
Very
so like some great stuff on at the cinema, and so there should be, because we waited so bloody long. They kept postponing things because of the pandemic. So I'm really like it's just been great.
Yeah.
And go on.
You talk about the cinema. I will talk about stuff at home from streaming services. I watched a couple.
What did you do? What did you do streaming?
So recently I watched on Amazon Prime Good Omens.
Okay.
Have you heard of it? It's with Michael Sheen and David Tennant.
Right.
It's about Michael Sheen plays an angel.
Is that the angel and the devil?
Yeah.
And
Michael
they
Sheen
have this get together, and it's just it's so funny.
It's almost like a spoof on these supernatural kind of angel demon shows. You got like Michael Sheen and David Tennant, and they're playing angel and demon respectively, and they kind of they become best friends.
Actors, right?
They become best friends from the start of time to modern. Yeah, they're hilarious.
Michael Sheen is hilarious. I think because I remember I watched Graham Norton. Yeah. And he was interviewed there about this. Yeah. I didn't think it was out yet. That's fantastic.
It's very. It came out in 2019.
Did it?
Yeah, and it's quite stylistic and kind of. It's very cool.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's only 6 episodes. I have a feeling that it got cancelled.
Limited series, or maybe they hit pandemic and had to.
Yeah, but it's an interesting show. That was good.
Okay.
I also watched Love and Monsters, which came out like a couple days ago on Netflix. It's with Dylan O'Brien, who was the guy from Maze Runner, and I always knew he was great. But watching this, I was like, oh my god, he's actually an incredible actor. You can see the subtleties in the different characters, but it's still him, and it's just he's really good. And it was a bit funny.
It's good that he's got something a bit more substantial to sink his teeth into than the script from Maze Runner.
Well, it was a bit funny, a bit emotional. It was kind of a mixture of everything, and it just goes to show that an action film can still actually be a really good film.
Yeah.
The plot being kind of like there was an asteroid heading towards Earth. Mm-hmm. Humans blew it up before it got there, but then it rained back down chemicals that made like rodents and insects mutated into monsters.
It's called. I love my sci-fi.
It's called Love and Monsters.
Okay.
And
what's that on? What'd you see that on?
Netflix.
Netflix.
No, he's writing it down.
It's made the list.
Yeah, but so you look at the synopsis and the plot. The synopsis, I guess, and you're like, it's one of those films again. Is it actually going to be good? But it's amazing, and it's Paramount and Netflix, so it has to be good.
Okay.
They did it really well, and it was filmed in Australia. It was filmed in Queensland because I'm watching it, and I'm like,
looks a bit familiar.
I'm like those. So it's all set in kind of like because it's post-apocalyptic almost.
Yeah.
It's set in kind of like bushland and stuff, and I'm like, those
not a good nod to the wonderful views around Queensland. It's post-apocalyptic views.
No, but as in like, so we're in the bush and it's really pretty, right? Yeah. So I'm looking at it, I'm like, those paper bark trees look really
interesting,
local.
It's funny, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's funny. I was thinking about it. I was like, for anyone else who doesn't live in Australia, would just be like, okay, this could be set in America where it was set, but we're watching it like, nah, those trees are so distinct.
That looks like the trees just behind Movie World on the Gold Coast.
But it was amazing. It was really well done. Got a bit teary like near the end. It was just really well.
And is that a movie or a series?
Movie.
Okay.
Movie. And so there's a guy in it, an Aussie guy who plays an Aussie. Mm-hmm. His name's Dan Ewig.
Oh yeah.
I did a short film
Neighbours
with him.
or Home and Away?
He is in Home and Away, I think. Oh no, he was in Home and Away.
Right.
But I did a short film with him years ago. My first ever short film.
Oh right.
I was a very non-existent role. Yep. But that was interesting. So he was also in What are those colored?
You're doing a Max.
I am. What are those colored?
You do it well.
Those colored superheroes. They all have helmets. You got a pink one, a green one, like a white one.
Power Rangers.
Power Rangers. He was also in Power Rangers. I
don't know how I know that.
But yeah, so that was cool seeing him. Oh my god. So yeah, that's a great film. Put that on the list. And now I've gotten into The Handmaid's Tale.
Have you really? I tried.
You tried? It's a bit slow.
Yeah.
But just I'm watching Elizabeth Moss and I'm like, she's great. Her accent's amazing.
The Invisible Man, I think, was the last thing I saw with her in it, and I really enjoyed that.
But it's such an interesting idea, The Handmaid's Tale.
It is.
Going backwards pretty much, and then even worse for women. I mean, the idea of it. Do you know the idea behind it?
Yeah. And that everything that they talk about, every everything in the series actually happened to women at some stage in history.
Yeah, and I mean, it's scary how this could actually
in many ways
happen.
is not comforting.
No, and this could actually happen. Like again.
Well, when you look at themes of the controlling and the Big Brother type stuff, I mean,
it's
there's
quite
sort
disturbing
of
of a
those
TV show. So yeah, those are mine.
Okay, good. That's good. There's some good stuff around.
There's so many.
I mean, it's amazing what was slated to go cinema and then went straight to video on demand, and then now that the cinemas are open, there is some good stuff coming back. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
so
it's awesome.
I've got my rewards points from.
Enjoy.
So looking forward to it. All right. Well, hopefully I'll get through my audition this week. It might give me more to talk about next week. You'll be listening to Two Unemployed Actors. I'm Max.
I'm Sam.
Make sure you like, subscribe, follow us on social media, and you'll hear from us next week. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Two unemployed actors.
Welcome back to Two Unemployed Actors. I'm Max.
I'm Sam.
Great show today. Going to talk about a few movies, some movie reviews.
One more time. Fred jumped on my back when I said, we do it one more time.
Fred, behave yourself.